All right, third grade. So we are now ready to do Module 4, Lesson 1. We're going to be understanding the identity and zero properties of multiplication. So what that means is we're going to be able to multiply 1 and multiply by 0 and figure out how we get our answer when we multiply by those numbers, by those digits. So I can use the identity property and zero property of multiplication and strategies to multiply with 1 and 0. So first we're going to do some spark in our learning. We're going to choose any number of plates to place on a table, and we're going to put 2 tomatoes on each plate. So how many plates do we want? Let's say we've got 3 plates of tomatoes. Okay. So here's my 3 plates. Okay. And on each plate, we are going to have 2 tomatoes on each plate. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So if I were to write a multiplication equation for how many tomatoes we have right here, I have 3 plates, right? And how many are on each plate? There are 2 on each plate. So that tells me that 3 times 2 is 2, 4, 6. I'm counting by 2s 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. So I have 6 tomatoes to start with. All right. Now underneath we're going to get some more directions on what we need to do next. So next, show above what would happen if you removed 1 tomato from each plate. Now how many tomatoes are on the plates? So removing 1 tomato means I'm going to take a tomato away from each plate. So I still have 3 plates. That didn't change. But instead of having 2 tomatoes on each plate, I'm only going to have 1 tomato on each plate, because I got rid of one of the tomatoes. So now my multiplication equation, I still have 3 plates. That didn't change. But I only have 1 on each plate. So 3 times 1, I have 3 plates, and there's 1 on each plate. So that means I have 3 tomatoes. Finally, show above what would happen if you removed 1 more tomato from each plate. Now how many tomatoes are on the plates? Well, if I remove another tomato, how many am I going to have left on my plates? I'm going to have 0. So here are my plates. I'm going to remove my last tomato from each plate. I still have 3 plates, but do I have anything on my plates? No, I have nothing on my plates. So that means 3 times nothing is nothing, right? It's 0. So I have 0 tomatoes left on my plates. So what this illustrates is, anytime you multiply any number, it doesn't matter what number it is, by the number 1, you're going to have that number as your answer. Because however many you have of your total, right? How many plates, how many bowls, how many cups, how many boxes, that's how many you have. And if you only have 1 inside each box, that means you have that number of, for in this case, tomatoes. Anytime you multiply a number by 0, you're going to have 0, because nothing, if you have nothing on a plate, you can still have 3 plates. But we wanted to know how many tomatoes we had. If I have no tomatoes on any, I could have 100 plates, and I'm still going to have 0 tomatoes if there's no tomatoes on any of my plates. So anytime you multiply anything times 0, your answer will be 0. Anytime you multiply anything times 1, your answer will be the number you're multiplying by 1. Okay? And we're going to see that. We're going to practice that a few more times so that way you can see I'm not telling you a falsehood. I'm telling you the truth. All right. Kay makes a fruit basket. She puts 4 oranges in the basket. How many oranges does Kay put in the basket? So if Kay, here's her basket. She has how many oranges? 4, right? Said she put 4 oranges in her basket. So what multiplication equation would we have? Well, how many baskets do we have? We have 1. How many oranges are in each side of the basket? There are 4. So 1 basket times 4 oranges equals 4. So she has 4 oranges in her basket. So now Kay decides to put 1 more orange in the basket. Show how many oranges are now in the basket. Well, we still have our 1 basket. She didn't change. She didn't do any more baskets. But instead of 4, she put 1 more. So we had 4. Now we're going to have 5. So now there's 5 oranges in the basket. So our multiplication equation still, we only have 1 basket. But inside there are 5 oranges. So 1 times 5 equals 5. 5 oranges. Oh, and that Kay, she wants to push the limits. She's going to add another orange to her basket. So same basket. I know I didn't really do. They all look a little bit different, but it is the same basket, trust me. So now we have 6. We went from 4, she added 1 more, to 5. Then she had 5, she added 1 more. Now she has 6. Still, I only have 1 basket, but I have 6 oranges now. So 1 times 6 equals 6. So remember, anything times 1 is that's what your answer is going to be. Your answer is going to be the number that you're multiplying by 1. So that's what the identity property of multiplication means. It states that the product of any number and 1 is that number. So for example, 3 times 1 equals 3. 1 times 4 equals 4. Anything times 1, that's what your answer is going to be, is the number you're multiplying by 1. So the pattern we see is that the answer is always the number you're multiplying by 1. So the answer is always the number you are multiplying by 1. It's always what your answer is going to be. Now, they want us to continue the pattern. We're going to write the next 3 multiplication equations. So we left off with 1 times 6. So our next one would be 1 times 7. And what would 1 times 7 equal? It equals 7. Easy enough. 1 times 8. What does 1 times 8 equal? It equals 8. And then the last, because we want the next 3, 1 times 9. 1 times 9 equals 9. So any number times 1, the answer is going to be the number you're multiplying by 1. That's what the identity property of multiplication is. All right, now let's go to number 2. Fix my camera's all messed up. All right, so now we're with Wes. And Wes is going to pack some lunch bags. So Wes packs 4 lunch bags. He forgets to pack a cereal bar in each bag. How many cereal bars does Wes pack in the bags? Well, what? So if he forgets to put a cereal bar in each bag, he didn't put any cereal bars in, right? So it would be 0. He has no cereal bars. So what is the multiplication equation that we could write to find the total number of cereal bars? Well, we know that there are 4 bags. How many cereal bars did he put in? He didn't put any in. So if he didn't put any in, there are no cereal bars in the bags. That's easy enough. What multiplication equation could you write to show 5 lunch bags with 0 cereal bars in each bag? Well, we would, same type of situation, right? We have 5 lunch bags, no cereal bars, none. He didn't put one in. So 5 times 0 is 0. If you have nothing, there won't be anything there, right? You can have 1,000 bags. You can have 1,000,000 bags. It's still going to equal 0 if you didn't put any cereal bars in the bags. What multiplication equation can you write to show 6 lunch bags with 0 cereal bars in each bag? Well, I now have 6 lunch bags. Do I have any cereal bars still? No, he still didn't put any in. So that equals 0. So when you multiply with 0, what pattern do you see? The answer is 0. So the 0 property of multiplication states that the product of 0 and any number is 0. So 0 times 4 equals 0. 3 times 0 equals 0. So anytime you multiply by 0, you are going to get 0. Always, always, forever and always. All right, so let's check for some understanding. There are 3 plates on the table. Each plate has 0 peppers. How many peppers are on the plates? Well, if I have 3 plates and I have 0 peppers on each plate, 3 times 0 is 0. So there are 0 peppers. You can't have something if it's not there, right? So it's got to be 0. There are 7 bowls. Each bowl has 1 spoon. How many spoons are in the bowls? Well, I have 7 bowls. Each bowl has 1 spoon. How many spoons total do you have? You have 7 spoons, because each bowl only had 1 spoon. And our last page, 86. Oops, I'm just going to move my camera over a little bit. All right, number 3. Each can holds the number of tennis balls shown. So how many tennis balls are in the can? 1, 2, 3. Talia has 1 can of tennis balls. How many tennis balls does Talia have? Well, we can look at it, right? Obviously, if she only has this 1 can, she has 3 tennis balls. But we need to write a multiplication equation to solve this. So she has how many cans? She has 1 can multiplied by how many balls are in the can? 3. So 1 times 3 equals 3. So she has 3 tennis balls, or 3 balls. Okay, number 4. Each softball team has 9 players. There are 0 softball teams on the field, so nobody's out there yet. How many players are on the field? Well, there are no softball teams. Even though each team has 9 players, none of them are out on the field. So that means there are 0 players out on the field. So 0 players. Each box has 0 markers. There are 6 boxes. How many markers are in the boxes? Well, I've got how many boxes? 6 of them. How many markers are inside the boxes? None. So that means I have 6 times 0 is 0. There are 0 markers in the boxes. And now down here, just finding some products. Remember, anything times 1 is going to be itself. So 8 times 1 is 8. Anything times 0 is 0, so 10 times 0 is 0. Anything times 1 is itself. 1 times 4 is 4. Anything times 0 is 0. 0 times 6 is 0. Anything times 1 is itself. 1 times 7 is 7. 0 times 0 would equal 0. 1 times 10 equals 10. 2 times 0 equals 0. And 9 times 1 equals 9. So this lesson was fairly quick, and I think your black and white homework sheet for lesson 4.1 should be a snap to do. It shouldn't take you very long. And then once you get that done, either return it to me at school or have a parent take a picture of it, the front and the back of the black and white worksheet, and send it to me at school through your email or through a text. All right, guys, I hope you have a fabulous Thanksgiving with your families. We will not have a Google Meet this week. This week is, with it just being 2 days, we won't be having it because there is no school on Wednesday. And I think this lesson's fairly self-explanatory. But if you do have any questions or any concerns, please have your parent get a hold of me, and I could still meet with you either Monday at 3:15 or Tuesday at 3:15. Just let me know if you would like that, and I can definitely meet with you if you have any questions. Okay? All right. Have a wonderful vacation. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving break, and I will be back recording more lessons for you on the 30th. All right, guys. Enjoy. Bye.